get into facelift Kail. I was listening to she and Becky's Karma and Chaos podcast episode today. Okay, what was I doing when I was listening to this? I think I was just sitting around. What are you doing? Nothing, just hanging around. That's what I was doing when I was listening to it. And in it, they just talked about a little bit of everything, right? So Becky and her wife are expecting their first child, right? Right now, they're calling this child Baby Bex. And so they started talking about this sort of thing, like meeting up with some of the sperm donor and everything, like just, regular stuff like that. And then they start talking about making plans for the future and how as you get older, especially with children involved, it gets more and more difficult to make future plans, which is true. And so they kind of like joked. Becky made this joke like, oh, like, do you like, well, what if we schedule right now to see each other August this at this time? And then Kail says, oh, no, I can't schedule anything for August. I'm getting a facelift in August. I said, a facelift? She's so young, right? Why would she need a facelift? And so she says, so you know how Kail, let me see if I have a good photo that would illustrate this for you guys. So Kail has spoken about this for quite a while now, right? Just being a little bit insecure about her lower third. So like her chin, jawline area, because she stores a lot of fat there. She has had like a liposuction procedure done on it. So sorry, I'm going to be flipping through photos to try and find one that's like accurately representative of what I'm talking about here. So then some of these photos are so old, you don't really see it, right? So with age, more children, like weight yo-yoing and whatnot, it has become more pronounced, right? So give me 1 second. Let me go dig it up. I have one that would really show you. So she's been insecure about this for a while, right? She has gotten procedures on it, but nothing has really stuck. And so she's finding out that this is just a genetic issue in her family, that people just have these kind of like heavy jowls and these kinds of double chins, no matter how thin they get. And so she has decided to take care of it by going and getting a facelift. And so she didn't specify that it was like a lower facelift, a this, a that, or anything like that. She just said facelift. So I am a little bit concerned that she's going to do the top half of her face as well. So this is a photo that would be a little bit more, accurate to what it looks like lately, right? Even though this is still an older photo. So this is something that she has already planned to do. The deposit has been paid, the date has been booked, and it's going to be happening in August. I imagine that she is going to be doing content surrounding this as well. So stay tuned to see how all of this turns out. Tanisha says kids or no kids, having a facelift at 33 years old is crazy. I agree. It seems like a lot, right? Raven says, what the F? I know. It is very, very surprising because this feels incredibly dramatic, right? I don't know that I believe that this is the situation, to be honest with you. I don't know that this is the only option that she has to take care of this issue. I feel like there have to be 1,000,001 other things that you can try before going to this level, but I don't know. Right? Ray says she didn't go to the right doctor. If it's back, that's what I'm thinking as well. Because if you had already gotten it done, right, the fat would typically be gone. And then maybe you go back and you do some kind of like a laser procedure to tighten up the skin. That way you don't have this issue anymore. So I'm actually quite surprised to hear that she hasn't gotten some sort of a laser procedure or something like that in order to kind of tighten up the skin. Because it is true that, like, yes, sometimes when you get liposuction or whatever, you have loose skin, right? Because your skin is so used to having that fat there, right? So they typically recommend that you get some kind of like laser procedure or something like that in order to kind of like fix the barrier. But here's the thing though, it is true that when you do liposuction, the fat can come back, right? Like if you're not living a healthy lifestyle to maintain weight loss or, the calorie deficit that you're supposed to be in, typically doctors tell you, do not do liposuction if you're not going to stay within like 5 pounds of the weight that you're at now. And if you're not at that weight, like try to diet to get down to that weight, because it's just so, it's such a delicate procedure, right? And so we already know that she had gained a lot of weight since the first time that she did it, and so I do think that maybe she could have even just gotten a second round of it and then stuck with like a certain healthier lifestyle to make it work this time around. I don't know. I find it to be a little bit dramatic, but we'll see. And it's kind of ironic because not too long ago, she was on TikTok, was it? Crying, or Instagram Live or Instagram Story, something. She was like, "Why do I do this to myself? Like, I risk my life, to get these surgeries, mutilating myself." Do you guys remember that big like dramatic rant? And she was crying and everything, right? Like, just to find out that not that long after that rant, she was out here booking more procedures. Like, I find it to be a little bit interesting, but I digress. Ray Bay says she also has to do upkeep. Upkeep. My bestie got it done and her procedure has lasted. That's the thing. If you get lipo, you have to stay within the weight range that you were at when you got it, or maybe get even smaller. But the smaller you get too, the looser your skin gets. And so that could be another issue that you have, right? So I think that a big issue for her is that she doesn't really stay within the range after she gets these procedures done. And then that kind of undoes all of the work. Michelle says, Kail is not going to beat gravity. I almost wish she had someone who cares about her enough to tell her to stop before she looks like Frankenstein. And it's scary, right? Because, in this franchise, we've already seen so many of these young women turn themselves into these kind of Frankenstein, like, age the hell out of themselves with these procedures that they've gotten. For example, Farrah, right? Like, she was a normal looking girl. Then she started getting some tweaks done. Listen, it was like normal looking at first. It was great. Then there was a moment where she looked like 10 out of 10 gorgeous, right? For me, it was the season where she was cursing out. Let me see if I could find a photo. But it was the season where she was wearing the blonde hair, right? And she was cursing out her mom's boyfriend, Dr. David. Do y'all remember that? Maybe you suck at being a doctor, bitch. Something like that. Like that, to me, she looked really beautiful then. And as I think about this era, I think about how creepy the boyfriend was, because one day they were filming this scene and her mother pops up wearing a blonde wig, and Farrah had just gone blonde, right? And so she asked her mom, "Why are you blonde?" And then you know what her mom says? That her boyfriend, Dr. David, likes the blonde on Farrah. So she decided to go ahead and match that. Yeah, right. So let me put up this picture. Like, to me, this was like peak Farrah era. She looked like, to me, like a 10 out of freaking 10. Absolutely stunning. But then, per usual, whenever people get, wrapped up in this world, they take things a little bit too far and then they, jump the shark. So here it was. Do you guys remember this era of Farrah? This was when she was like cursing out her mother's boy. Like, it was a good season of the show. It was a really, really, really good season. Right. So to me here, she looked the best that she had ever looked. And then unfortunately, she didn't see it. So she just kept going and going and going. She looked done, but like the good kind of done. You know what I mean? Like, she still looked like within her age range. And now she looks like she could be within her mother's age range. And so I find that to be a little bit too, I find that to be too bad. I find that to be sad. But I digress. I do worry that is the direction that Kail is heading in. And a lot of you guys have a lot of opinions about that as well. So Leah had said Kail needs to make major lifestyle changes first. Plastic surgery will do nothing if she doesn't maintain her health and weight. And I completely agree. It's a great tool, but it's not a miracle fix. Look at the BBL or whatever, she and Brianna, Jade, Brianna's sister Brittany, these people had these like body contouring things, and normally you would think, oh, perfect, like you're good, right? But they did not maintain it. Now it looks like, what was the point? What was the reason if you were not going to upkeep it? The fat can come back. Allie says she has way too many kids, way too many daddies in her life to go under the knife constantly. And I agree. These are major operations that she is subjecting herself to for very vain reasons, in my opinion. Like, I do understand wanting to get fixes, this, that, and the other. But again, if you're not going to maintain them, living a better lifestyle, healthier lifestyle, or anything like that, what is the point, right? Bree says, why would she get that neck tat if she's going under the knife? Oh, good point. Did you guys remember that? She just got this neck tattoo. And so if you're getting this kind of lipo to help with your lower third, they might be pulling some of this stuff up. Not lipo, sorry, facelift. Don't they pull some of this stuff up and stretch it? Oh, what happens if it's a neck tattoo? Oh, wow, Bree, you are on it. You are on it. On it. Is it very projected because I didn't notice that. I thought it was like perfectly in line. Like he says, maybe because she looks like her dad. It's one of the reasons she wants a facelift. But then she'll look like her dad with like a facelift because she's already had so much filler and Botox and stuff, and she still looks like her dad, you know? So I don't know. Is this going to help? I don't know. Paprika says she will always be miserable because she does not take care of her health. Surgery can't fix lifestyle. And I agree. It's your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is going to make all the difference. It really does. Good morning, Kelly. Nice to see you. Good morning. Oh, how do I say this? Antonica? Did I say it right? Antoineka? Yes, Antoineka. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Cindy. Hopefully she doesn't go the Farah route. I really hope that she doesn't as well, you know, because the Farah route is not the route that you want to go down, right? I thought OC says Farah didn't look good there. Damn, I thought she looked so beautiful, but Raven does say that Farah looks good. Raven as well. Jess, oh, look at that. Okay. I thought I was going crazy. I was like, did she not look good? I thought she looked absolutely beautiful in that photo. And Angela says that Kail needs to stop for her children's sake. And you know what? Like, it's a big risk. I got to be honest with you, right? All these kids, very young kids, her body has gone through so much back to back to back for the past like 6-7 years, you know? It feels like tempting fate a lot. Give me a second, you guys. I have to sneeze, okay? All right. And we're back. So sorry about that, you guys. But good luck to you, Kail. I really hope that everything turns out well and that you are satisfied with the results of this procedure and that you do make those changes in your lifestyle so that you can hang on to these results. Okay. Listen, this is a recent photo of her, right? So you see that, okay, like she does have a little bit of it, but it's nothing that's like crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, anyway, whatever. Listen, at the end of the day, it's about what you see in the mirror, right? And so I feel like we are always our harshest critics. And so things that other people aren't even really like looking at all that much when they look at you are like the things that you look at obsessively when you look at you, right? So I think that, thanks, Angie. I think at the end of the day, all you can do is just do what you want for yourself, what makes you feel happy, right? Just saying.